Ivan Katz here, and behind me, my Renault Clio Hybrid E-Tech. Now, it's also my rental car. I'm going to drive it all around England, and I'm going to tell you what it's like and compare it to the rental car Renault Clio that I rented and drove all around Ireland. So, we will find out what it's like as a rental car and as a general car and a hybrid. So smash that like button and subscribe, because we're also going to find out if I'm impressed. Let's get started. So this is the 5th generation Renault Clio, and it was introduced in 2019, basically refreshed recently to give it a more modern look and to keep the styling in line with all of their other recent vehicles. So I think it's nice looking. Love the color, but the alloy wheels look nice too. And, you know, 5-door hatchback, pretty much the quintessential vehicle these days. And Renault has been making these for ages. You can watch my Renault 5 Turbo review. Of course, that's a 2-door, but you know, Renault in America, well, they haven't been around for decades, but it's really nice to have the opportunity to drive these cars in Europe. And yeah, it's something new and something different. I wanted to review this one because I'm a big fan of the Renault Clio Williams, and you can see my review of that one elsewhere on YouTube. But in terms of the overall styling, I think it's a hit. Looks good, looks fresh, looks modern, and it's responding to my key right now too. Okay, so I like the way it looks, but what's it like inside? Inside, and notice I open on the American side because that's just a habit, but inside you get very supportive and I would say nicely textured and good looking seats as well. Big bolsters, so you can see the sports car history. Even though this is a hybrid, still they have nice bolsters, a rare automatic transmission in the Renault Clio. Modern push button start. You can see user settings there. You can have your own user settings. Very nice for a couple of drivers. That's always good. Gauge cluster here. Basically a computer, and you can scroll through and change the appearance and what it displays. It's telling me I need my seatbelt. So there you go. Very modern and everything you'd expect from this new technology hybrid vehicle. Elsewhere on the steering wheel, you get controls for your cruise control, and you also have a speed limiter. So that's cool. You can make sure that you don't go too fast, which I'll get into more later in the video, but it's important here in Europe. More driver controls on the side. I like to keep the lane keep assist on just for safety, and some lighting controls as well. Infotainment screen here. Control your different modes. Nice to have the eco on. E-save. You can go into some e-save settings, turn it on, and also head home, and you can see everything displayed in one place. Driving eco score, and it gives you tips too. Interesting. Get into the other settings here to show you those. Audio and your apps as well. Down below, your eco button, door locks, hazards, and you can have it in pure EV mode too. Ventilation controls down here, just turn it on and it's automatic. Very nice. Charging and connectivity as you'd expect. Your rare automatic transmission in Europe. I guess they're certainly much less common than they are in the United States. Storage here with a real handbrake and 2 cup holders. More storage back there. And of course, my little Lamborghini Countach model. If you want to know what it's like to drive the Countach, just search Drivin Ivan and Lamborghini Countach for the truth about driving the Countach. Smash that like button and subscribe too if you already haven't. Pedals below are supplied with an extra level of grippiness. That's nice. And your power window, mirror controls, and also extra storage down below. Nice full-size glove box also. Seating for 3 across. You can see that my fully extended travel tripod extends all the way across down there, so that's nice. And you also get the added convenience of being able to fold down your rear seats. Excellent. That's a nice feature and a hybrid, certainly. And in the trunk, you can see that it is quite large, as you would expect from a 5-door hatchback. Note my disc golf discs. I actually got to play a little bit of disc golf here in England, so search my disc golf videos too. So there you go. Modern interior with all the charging you need and all the modern tech to incorporate your phone, plus a lot of comfort built in too. Powering this E-Tech hybrid is a 1.6 liter 4-cylinder engine. It produces 145 horsepower, 148 pound-feet of torque. That's good for a 0 to 60 time of 9.3 seconds. 9.9 seconds if you opt for the 140 horsepower version of this same car. Either way, top speed will be 175 kilometers per hour, which is about 109 miles per hour. Fuel economy is right around 50 miles per gallon, but you can get up to 60 depending on the way you drive it. So that's pretty darn good. The way the Europeans measure it, that's 3.6 to 4 liters for 100 kilometers. And pricing is between 20,500 and 23,400 pounds. So you're looking at about 26,000 to 30,000 American dollars for this Renault Clio E-Tech hybrid. As I drive under the beautiful Bristol suspension bridge that is oh so famous for, I'm thinking of advantages of driving this Renault Clio hybrid in the cities of Europe. Well, it's a hybrid, so you can have it in all the downtown congestion zones, whereas perhaps normally with other cars you can't be in those zones. So that is another bonus point for this Renault Clio hybrid here in Bristol and in all of the cities across Europe. No complaints about the night look here. Looking good on the Renault Clio. There's definitely a slight hesitation when you first engage throttle, but it quickly jolts up and starts the engine and gets back to normal. But it is noticeable, certainly. Well, the back road twisties is certainly an advantage to the manual Morgan transmissioned other Clio that I rented in Ireland. However, this one is a little zippier than you think it would be as a hybrid. So that's a plus, but clearly you're not getting into the Renault Clio hybrid for its handling or speed. You want really, really good MPGs, and that's what you get. Somewhere around 60 is what I'm basically getting, 60 miles per gallon. I think that's the way they measure it in England, so it might be a little different in America, but still, maybe 55. So definitely impressive, and the perfect rental car, I think. And again, you have that ability to go into the center of towns and things like that. So yeah, the Renault Clio, a fine car and a fine rental car too. My brother actually recently came to Ireland, and he on purpose got an automatic because he just didn't want to think that much, and I don't blame him really. This one I got kind of by mistake at the rental car company, and it's because they didn't have any Fiat 500s returned. I was looking forward to reviewing a Fiat 500 since I own Charlie Sheen's Fiat 500C, and I've reviewed just about every Fiat 500 available in America, including the Abarth. But this was a happy surprise because I think it's a really nice car, and it should be very economical too, and I'm happy to review it. But that being said, wow, I had some rental car company nightmares today, absolute nightmares. I booked a car that I was supposed to pick up in downtown Liverpool, and apparently they closed super early shortly after I was supposed to pick up the car, and I didn't know that. I didn't realize they'd be closing in the middle of the day at noon and not accepting any more visitors after 11:45, so I just thought that was insane. So I just rebooked it, and I challenged it with their online chat customer service. It literally was a chat. So this was a broker. I don't recommend using a broker for this reason. And then the same broker said, well, let us rebook it for you. And I let them. And they seemed to give me a good price. And I said, well, does that include the airport drop-off fee? Because I'm going to drop it off at another location, not in Liverpool. I'm going to drop it off in London. And they said, oh, yeah. And I captured it. He said, yes, I have it, visual proof. I took a screenshot of it, and sure enough, I got to the rental car place, and they wanted to charge me £100 more to drop it off at a different airport. It just makes you livid. You've got to expect here in England that customer service is not what it's like in America. People are very matter of fact here. They don't really care, to be quite honest. They don't have the care and sort of customer service skills that we have in America. And you know, they say the people up north here are kinder than the people in down south in London, but I'm not sure. You know, Morrison said, and if they're northern, that makes it even worse. And anyway, one of his lines from a song there. But yeah, I'm not impressed with these broker companies for the car rental, and honestly, I would avoid them and just book direct, because that was a nightmare. This is hilarious.
Green light ahead. Take your foot off the accelerator to anticipate it changing to red. Remove the roof rack and the roof box. If you are not using them, they increase consumption by 10%. Drive at a steady speed. Use the cruise control more often. This will also reduce consumption. Green light ahead. Take your foot off the accelerator to anticipate it changing to red. Do not leave unnecessary objects in the vehicle. Extra weight increases fuel consumption.
As a note to any Americans that may be coming to Europe, when they tell you a speed limit in Europe, it's not like in the US where it says 45 and you can take it at 70 miles an hour. Here, if they tell you it's 60, then they mean 60 kilometers per hour or whatever. Just know that. They are definitely more on the mark with their speed limits than we are in America. And you can get yourself in big trouble if you were to go at American speeds versus their listed speeds. So there you have it. A helpful hint when traveling around Europe. Also, they usually allow for 5% over before they will give you a speeding ticket. So, you know, 100 miles an hour, 100 kilometers per hour, that means 105. So keep pretty close to the speed limits here. Fuel consumption currently sitting at 57.6. Very impressive. Looks like I've driven 451 miles on this car that only has 3,218 miles. So it is very new.
Turn right onto Victoria Embankment A3211, then you will arrive at your destination.
Everything feels great. Steering wheel, buttons that you interact with, everything in terms of the seat and the driving feels pretty good, position and everything. However, it should have a volume control knob and a tuning knob for the infotainment screen. I don't like it when manufacturers leave those out. But other than that, and the kind of hesitation when you first start accelerating, no other complaints with the Renault Clio. Well, heading through a couple of roundabouts in the city, trying to get out of town here to the airport, getting ready to say goodbye to my Renault Clio Hybrid, and sadly, England as well. An amazing time. Yesterday, I actually saw Paul McCartney in person. For that full story, you'll have to watch my Beatles in Liverpool video. I'll put that as an added bonus to the story. but it was amazing, actually. And this Renault Clio Hybrid was amazing too. Really fun to push a little bit in the rain, and you know, it understeers as it should, and it's just a really good all-around vehicle. There's nothing more to say about it. It was the perfect rental, the perfect car as well. Everyone should have a hybrid in their fleet. I do have a fleet of cars. I have some very cool cars, but I drive a hybrid as my daily. Some of the roads in Europe are downright preposterous. Gotta honk your horn. After spending many days with the Renault Clio Hybrid, driving from Liverpool to Bristol to Stonehenge, Windsor Castle, and all around London, the Clio was the perfect travel companion for my English road trip. Much different in feel to the manual Clio I rented in Ireland, and worlds apart in many ways to the Renault Clio Williams that I drove and reviewed in the US. This ultra-modern Clio, with its eco-friendly access to all of the inner cities in Europe, plus the automatic transmission, one less thing for Americans to worry about while trying to drive on the wrong side of the road and on the wrong side of the car, the Renault Clio Hybrid E-Tech was the perfect rental car for England and also Europe, and I'm definitely impressed. Please do check out my other car videos by searching any car and Drivin Ivan, plus see which actual Beatle I saw in my Beatles in London and Liverpool video, and check out my Jimi Hendrix's life and death and lady interests in London, as well as my Banksy's art in Bristol, and my jam with local musician Robert, also in Bristol. Also check out my Jim Morrison's life and death in Paris. That's a cool video. And also my guitar reviews, my disc golf videos, my literal video for Chris Isaac's Wicked Game, and also my original music videos, Free Your Mind music video, which has some of my car collection and a lot of my musical instrument collection in it as well. Also check out my I'll Never Tell. Basically, the video is an homage to Bob Dylan's Subterranean Homesick Blues, just in video form. And check out the black and white version too. But again, thanks for watching. I'm Drivin Ivan.